What is going on, everybody? You got Sturcules here, and I want to thank you for stopping by. I'm about to be showing you my Week 5 battle in the NPDL versus Magnus, coach of the San Francisco Garchomps. Magnus is an amazing battler. He's one of our two Norwegian sensations, Magnus and Henrik, and they are just both beasts. They are both amazing at drafting, both come up with some heat and team building, and if it's possible, they're even better battlers than they are at drafting and team building. But we're focusing on Magnus today, my guy that I'm playing against, and I appreciate just how fun spirited of a guy Magnus is. Like, just interacting with him and playing against him is always fun just because of that, because he's genuinely a nice guy, but he's also, you can tell, has like a very sarcastic side to him, and he's just a funny, witty guy. I really appreciate that. So it just makes it a lot more fun to play against that. I'm sitting at 2-2 at the time where this battle happens, and I believe he is sitting at 3-1, if I remember right. The reason it's a little hard to remember is things got a little jumbled. Some life stuff came up for a lot of us. I had some stuff come up, so a lot of my battles, you'll notice I haven't uploaded in a little while with the Draft League battles. I got a little bit behind, so I'm playing some catch-up. So if you see this coming out, there will be another video coming out shortly, and this week I'll still be doing 2 battles to catch up. So got a lot of battles coming your way. But let's go over my team real quick. Actually, let's look at his team first. So I got the San Francisco Garchomps pulled up here, and I've got a little bit of this stuff hidden because at the time I'm doing this, he and I have both played a few battles since this battle's happened, but I'm able to get around to doing a video of it now. So looking at his team, we during the draft stream, we all like to hop in on voice chat during the draft and kind of give our thoughts on what people are drafting. And every time Magnus came up to pick, we all just kind of groaned because his team just kept getting bulkier and bulkier every pick. It was insane. Like, we're like, he can't just keep getting bulkier, and he did. Like, he has such an amazing defensive. I don't even know if core is the right word because there's more than 3 just amazing defensive mons. But he's got 2 great regenerator mons in Toxapex and Tangrowth, and I've got, at the time of this battle, I've got 2 regenerator mons as well with Slowking and Tangela, so kind of a similar regen duo, but I would dare to say his is scarier just because Toxapex and Tangrowth are both so hard to break down, especially when looking at the rest of his team when he's also got an Umbreon, which is really hard to take down, because Umbreon not only is very bulky in both of its defense stats that you can see right here, 110 and 130, but it also gets Wish and it also gets Moonlight, so it can heal itself and it can heal others. Hitmontop is a surprisingly bulky mon. Since it can get Intimidate, that really helps out a lot with its taking physical hits, and it's got a very good natural special defense. Not a great HP, but it can make up for it. But this is just looking at his defensive mons. He's also got Kadabra and Charjabug, which I'm not worried about those 2 coming. I do think that I'm ready for Kadabra if it comes. And Kadabra can still be really scary. Still hits like a tank, especially, and still has a very good, I think it has a natural 100 speed, so it's good. But yeah, you kind of just look, and he's got Bronzong, who Steel type just with Levitate and is just amazingly bulky. So just looking at his defensive mons, you already run into a problem of like, how am I going to wear everything down? But he also did really well about, like, a lot of times if you go this defensive, it's like, yeah, but if I run a few taunt mons, how are you going to kill me, right? And, well, Obstagoon and Flygon and Salazzle have something to say about that, because these are some very good offensive mons. Flygon is great Scarfed, it's great Banded, and it's a really good Dragon Dance option. And it's honestly, from the special side, it's usable with base 80, especially since it can learn Boom Burst and run like Throat Spray or something like that. But looking at his team, a lot of times it's just easy to expect this is probably Scarfed or this is probably Dragon Danced. That's not how it's going to be every week, but that's just, it fills in really good holes by doing that. Obstagoon, you can almost always guess, is going to have Guts with Flame Orb, and it's going to hurt you with Facade It's going to hurt you with knockoff. And then it gets actually some really good coverage moves. But a lot of times you see fighting coverage ran, whether it be close combat or low kick. Gets taunt, gets parting shot. It gets its own special protect type of move that I'm forgetting what it's called right now, but basically if you hit it while it's doing its special protect move, it drops your defense by 2 stages, I believe. I've ran Obstagoon multiple times in my other league, and I cannot think of what its signature move is for the life of me. But then it does get like elemental punches. It does get gunk shot. So I think it even gets home claws. So just really good all around. It also gets bulk up. Good offensive mon. And Salazzle can be ran to kind of help with stall, with these stall bulky mons, with Toxic and Substitute and Protect, since it can Toxic everything with Corrosion. But also it is just something that can be scary to see as an offensive mon. It does get Nasty Plot. Poison and Fire do just cover a lot of bases. And not having hidden power is nice to prep for, but it does still, it gets Dragon Pulse also. I think it gets like Dark Pulse. So it gets decent coverage with its 2 amazing stabs. So it's always a threat to be Scarfed or Specs. And then Hitmontop with Technician can be offensive as well, since it can get the Ice Move Triple Axle now with that, and it gets its Stab Mach Punch. Along with things like Close Combat, High Jump Kick. It doesn't get Knockoff like Hitmonlee, but it does get Sucker Punch, which is pretty nice. I believe it gets Fake Out. And then it gets Rapid Spin, which is one of its most important moves. Because if you look at his team, his only hazard removal is Rapid Spin Hitmontop and Defog Flygon. And I just feel like Flygon's so good offensively. If you expect hazard removal, I expect it on Hitmontop on this squad. So really scary team, really hard to prep for. The biggest thing is, how do I not just let Obstagoon and Flygon beat me, and how do I take down Umbreon, Toxapex, Tangrowth, and Bronzong potentially? Goodness gracious. That regen plus Wish Core is just pretty insane. So here's my team. Ran Assault Vest, Claydol. This was probably my least important mod. Having Rapid Spin on it was really nice. And I just went max special attack on this, which is something I usually don't do, but with Assault Vest I'm already getting good bulk, especially max HP, but I just want Earth Power to be able to hit Toxapex really hard. The Ice Beam is obviously for Flygon. The Shadow Ball was to be able to hit Bronzong, basically, and then from there, Earth Power was the play on a lot of his team. But this was mostly just take some hits, keep hazards off the field, maybe help dent Toxapex if possible. Frost and Powers making his debut on the team. My choice Scarfed Rotom Frost with Thunderbolt, Blizzard, Trick, and Volt Switch. So Trick is just really nice for a lot of his team. If I can trick a choice Scarf onto Bronzong, Tangrowth, Toxapex, or Umbreon, it really helps out a lot. That helps them from doing Wish Protect shenanigans on Umbreon. On Toxapex, it can only select one move, and a lot of times its only attacking move is going to be Scald. So that's just really nice to be able to do. But if I even keep the Scarf, that just helps out outspeeding a lot of his team. And you can see good special attack, really hits a lot of things. Bolt Beam, what they call electric and ice coverage together, is really good for hitting things. Unfortunately, you can't learn Ice Beam on Rotom Frost. Its only ice-type move is Blizzard, which is incredibly inaccurate. But you know what? It's also really powerful, so you take it. And then Volt Switch is going to be clicked a lot just for pivoting it around. Whether I have the Scarf or not anymore, Volt Switch is the move I'm expecting to click the most with it. Dodger Rabbit with the Choice Band has Pyro Ball, Zen Headbutt, Taunt, and U-Turn. I really need Stealth Rocks up for this matchup, because even Choice Banded, since I'm not a plus attack nature on this, still does not do half to Toxapex, which is insane. Choice Banded Zen Headbutt, sorry, I don't know if I specified that. Doesn't do half to Toxapex, but with Rocks up, has a really good chance to 2-ko it, to hit it, to basically knock it out in 2 hits. Be clicking U-Turn a lot, pivoting's really good on his bulky mons to try to get in a good matchup against it. And then Pyro Ball does well against his team once Toxapex is gone. I say that like Toxapex is ever planning to leave. Knocking it out is so hard. This is going to be King Me the Slow King's last game on the team. I really have enjoyed using Slowking. Regenerator Mons are really fun. Slowking is a really good Pokemon that I've actually wanted to use for a really long time. It was like my second pick on the swing pick, so it was as good as a first pick for me this year that I paired with Cinderace, and I've really enjoyed using it, but I ended up dropping it for Blastoise, and I ended up dropping my Weezing for Garbodor. I just felt like that helped my team out a little more. Still have a bulky water type, but Blastoise can also pressure with Shell Smash um, being another option that can just kind of put offensive pressure on a team. I feel like that helps out Terrakion and Hydreigon and Cinderace Little having another really good offensive option, but it still gives me a bulky water type. And then I don't have two Psychic types. I didn't love that. So Psychic, Ice Beam, Drain Punch, and Teleport. Minus speed because we're extremely slow anyway, so why not? But Psychic for stab and to hit Toxapex. Not super hard, but late game. Ice Beam for late game against Flygon. We're max defense for that and for Obstagoon with Colbur Berry. To take a knockoff from Obstagoon was the hope. And then Drain Punch was just to catch Obstagoon off guard. I figured, once again, I wasn't planning on clicking this early, but I figured late game, if I've got Obstagoon in and I've got it worn down maybe, I can surprise him with Colbur Berry, live a knockoff, and then Drain Punch and get a decent amount of health back. Then I could switch out and get Regenerator. But then I also have Teleport for predictions, getting some regen back, or taking a hit and then switching back. Terrakion was probably always felt like my win con, and I realized only into the game that I messed up his speed. This needed to be 329 to outspeed a Not Choice Scarfed Flygon. I don't know if maybe I just told myself I was so sure that Flygon was Scarfed that I figured let's have a little extra bulk, but when it really comes down to it, I think I just messed up. Because in the middle of the game, I was looking at my speed, and I was like, well, I outspeed Obstagoon, but I'm not going to outspeed stinking Flygon. What am I doing here? So I kind of messed up there, but this felt like my win con. Close combat, Stone Edge, Taunt, and Swords Dance. So Taunt helps me really help shut down Umbreon and Toxapex. Then on a switch, you can Swords Dance. Then Close Combat and Stone Edge with Rocks Up really start doing a lot of work to his team if I have a Swords Dance up. And I need Rocks plus a Swords Dance to really start hitting Toxapex and Tangrowth hard, which is good. It's tough to get that up because a lot of his threats just made it really hard to get up a Swords Dance at the right time. But I knew this is what I needed to do to be able to dent through his team. And I knew it was going to be tough to be able to get that up. Then the last Mon, Hugs Bunny, the Wigglytuff. I think this is the first battle I've been able to bring it to. I've prepped to bring it multiple times and unsuccessfully was able to get it in, deciding that something else was better. I actually think Wigglytuff is going to be a little bit easier to bring without. A lot of times I think I'd end up bringing Slowking over it. And sometimes having just this Cleric Mon is nice. Being able to Wish Pass, having Heal Bell is really cool. And then Dazzling Gleam was just to hit Obstagoon. And I really wanted, its most important thing was Stealth Rock and Wish. Really needed to get rocks up against his team. And then we had the Chillin' Berry, which weakens a normal type move, which basically meant that it let us live a Facade from Obstagoon. And if Obstagoon was worn down enough to about 2/3, or really less than 2/3 since I wasn't running much special attack. But once again, later in the game, I can take a Facade and then hit back with a Dazzling Gleam. Because if I'm special defensive, which I am, Facade just absolutely destroyed this, so he would have, my thought is bait him into using Facade since it kills, and then I'm able to kill it back. So, and my cat just walked across my keyboard. Hopefully that didn't mess anything up. But that's the squad, so hopefully this is all recording well so far. I really wanted to do live comm from my games from here on out, but for these next two, you're going to see that I'm having to do post-comm. Just wasn't able to record when I was able to find time to play the matches, so a lot of times these battles will get a little laggy doing a replay, so let's just hope that it doesn't do that, but if so, I apologize. So let's go ahead and start into it. We see Magnus's team, Toxapex, Tangrowth, Umbreon, Obstagoon, Flygon, and Hitmon top, so not super surprising. That means that of what we expected, really, you could kind of narrow it down to 8 Mons, and then Salazzle and Bronzong didn't come. I think this is about what I expected. Um, Salazzle was a threat, but with me having Slowking and Claydol, I was actually feeling pretty good about it not coming. So, but I could have seen Bronzong, but once again, definitely not sad to not see it. So we're gonna go ahead and hop into our battle here. We can have the sound on, and we start off with our Dodger Rabbit versus his Umbreon. And so I just want to taunt from the get-go. We've got taunt on Choice Band, and I'm hoping if I taunt right away, he'll think I'm Heavy Duty Boots or Life Orb or something like that and not choiced, just for maybe being able to surprise him with some damage later. So I taunt, he protects. So I'm going to go ahead and taunt again. He goes into Toxapex, and that's something I love to taunt. So now I'm going to switch out to Slowking just because this always takes a hit well from Toxapex, and I'm annoyed, really annoyed to lose my my Colbur Berry that early. Really nice play by him to knock off early to kind of see what kind of items he could get rid of and what kind of reads he could get on things. So I am now without a Colbur Berry, which is really rough for Obstagoon. So he brings in his Umbreon as I Drain Punch. I really didn't want to reveal that early. So early on, I'm not happy with myself here. I don't know why I would have thought he would have went to Obstagoon this early instead of just this much safer play to Umbreon. As you can see, Drain Punch does nothing to that. So I'm just going to go ahead and switch out here to Rotom Frost. He tosses off a Wish, and I'm able to trick my Choice Scarf onto this, which is great. As he gets off a Baton Pass, his comment here is really funny. Ah, yes, Umbreon getting tricked. Never seen that before. So I was cracking up at that. But I'm also just ecstatic at this point to be able to have a Choice Scarf on Umbreon so that I can really just shut it down in a lot of ways. It's still useful, but it can't Wish Protect all day now. But now I also have Leftovers, which is a cool item to have at all times. So I obviously can't stand here because he's faster now. So I just go into Shakuomon because at this point, as you can see what we're saying, I just have to choose a sack to this thing. Don't have great switch-ins to it. I kind of just have to play it in front of it straight up. Try to make a double here as I know he'll switch out for Terrakion. So I get to go back into Rotom Frost. He misses a Leaf Storm, which is unfortunate because that is a 90% move. My cat climbing on my keyboard again. Aria, not now, hun. So he misses a Leaf Storm, 90% move. That's really unfortunate. And since I don't resist, that actually probably would have done a decent amount of damage. So it's really unfortunate that he missed that early. Obviously, he's classy. He says part of the game we played, but I'm sure he's very annoyed at that point. I would have been for sure. So we're kind of playing our doubles game here. I Ice Beam thinking he might go Tangrowth. We frisk for the Choice Scarf. That's obviously not helpful, but right now I'm just wanting to get rocks up. So I'm really happy. This helps from him being able to switch all day without any consequences at least. So he gets a double Toxic off, which is a nice play. Toxicking 2 of my Mons, and I'm not happy about that. I overpredict for a switch again. I thought a Volt Switch or Thunderbolt there was obvious enough that maybe I could bait in Flygon, but he's playing smart early. I'm Toxic, and I obviously can't Oko him, so he's just kind of playing off what kind of damage am I going to do. So he recovers that off very easily. So now I think I just Volt Switch here, and I'm realizing he's not using Flygon as a switch-in, so pretty much the rest of the game I'm clicking Volt Switch here, I believe. So now I can get off a super effective U-turn here. He protects just to scout things out. He can switch in Pex, which is going to take nothing from this. And since he's got Black Sludge, he's going to be able to get back up into a range that's tough to do anything on. Did I taunt or do I double here? Okay, so I do taunt. And obviously now I'm going to switch out because I'm doing nothing to this. So he misses another Leaf Storm. Now this is resisted, but Cinderace is not running much bulk, and Cinderace is not a Bulkymon as it is. So I can imagine that that's doing a decent amount. It's not doing much, and he doesn't have rocks up. So it's not a huge deal that he misses here, but it's just really annoying that he had to miss 2 of these this early. I felt really bad. that was a bummer. I'm sorry, Magnus, about that, but luckily it wouldn't have done Well, it still would have done. It's still a really strong move. So I U-turn out. He reveals the Tango Berry, which is really cool. So now he hits a Leaf Storm. Absolutely deserved to. And once again, I'm just clicking Volt Switch from here because I see he's not going to want to switch Flygon in on things. So I just kind of get to keep wearing down Hitmontop. And I want to keep going in and make sure he's not going to Rapid Spin, since my Stealth Rocker is not, it's not low, but it's toxic. So I kind of just go in here because I know I can take a special hit. So I can't remember if I Wish or Heal Bell here because I'm annoyed at the toxic, but I think I choose to Wish. No, okay, so I Heal Bell to get rid of the toxic on both of those, which is really nice that I have that. He Baton passes into Pex. So he's kind of just going to start doing that again. I kind of thought he'd bring in Obstagoon there, I think, because even though a Dazzling Gleam's super effective, I thought he kind of expected a Wish Pass maybe, and what can I switch in to a Facade? So I think that's why I Dazzling Gleamed, but he just went safe for Toxapex. Smart play. What can I say? It's good play. So I toss off a Wish onto Frost and Powers. I know I can live a Scald. I do get burned, which is a bit of a bummer, but that's actually better, I guess, because now I can't get Toxicked, right? So now I get to start gauging some damage and realize that he can't keep recovering forever. So I believe I'm going to Volt Switch out here because he realizes that as well. So, yeah, that plus a Volt Switch can kind of kill here. I go Terrakion and double to dodge a rabbit. I'm trying to remember why I did that. So I go Terrakion, knowing I can kill. I guess maybe just to keep... I'm really not sure why I did that, but I switch in on a Mach Punch here, and now I'm going to have to take 2 to kill it with Zen Headbutt. So now he can freely go into one of his Dark types, and I kind of just have to choose something to get bopped again at this point. I'm looking at Slow King. It doesn't have an item, so it's not doing a whole lot, even though Regenerator's nice. King Me, I'm sorry that your last match with me was not a great one. I don't think I used Slow King super great as much as I liked it. So I double here to force him out. Now I've got Tangrowth in a good situation. Do I just U-turn again? No, okay, so I Pyroballed. Okay. I guess I figured... Okay, so I'm going Rotom Frost here to kind of see what he's doing. I was a little mad at myself here because I think I played it too safe here. Because obviously an Earthquake is just going to obliterate. But Dragon Claw is doing a lot too when I'm worn down to 43. So here I really wish I would have went Wigglytuff and expected it to be that and not Earthquake. So he gets off a good Dragon Claw here. And so now he goes Goon. Do I harden to Wiggly? Okay, I harden to Wigglytuff. So right here I've got a situation I'm pretty excited about because he's now worn down enough the Dazzling Gleam is going to kill. I'm in a situation basically where if he's adamant, he has a small chance to kill with Facade and Chillin' Berry, but it's like a pretty small chance. And if he is jolly to be as fast as possible, then I don't think he has a chance to kill with Chillin'. So I can get Obstagoon out of the way here is what I'm thinking. Even with that toxic damage, and I get crit, which is a bummer, but you know what, like he's missed 2 90% moves, so I can't be mad. As I said, I dodged 2 Leaf Storms. I had this coming, so now I'm able to just start U-turning again. Dodge Rabbit's doing some work, picking up, I believe, all 3 kills so far. Is that right? So now I go here and I should have just probably Swords Danced here because I think there was like a roll to kill with Leaf Storm. Maybe that's why. I just wanted to get some damage and put some pressure. I think at this point I'm assuming I lose. So, but wait till you see what happens. He misses another Leaf Storm. And dude, I feel so bad. So here I'm mad that I didn't Swords Dance up, but I know I can live a Scald here from even at -2. I do live. I'm not burned, thankfully. So now I can throw off a Stone Edge, which does kill. And from here, things are looking pretty good. I was actually surprised to see Tangrowth coming in here. And this is where I realized that I made a mistake assuming that Flygon's Scarfed, even though he's played it well as a Scarfed Flygon so far. If he's Scarfed, it's easy to come in here and click U-turn or just straight up kill. And the fact that he goes into Tangrowth here, I should have known he's not Scarfed. So I'm able to pick up a kill here with close combat. Die to my own life orb. And now it's these two guys versus Flygon. But I tell myself he's Scarfed and that I'm probably going to lose either way, right? Because I'm like, well, I mean, I could hope to lock him into Earthquake, but he's going to be smarter than that and just click a Dragon move from here. So I think I just click Pyro Ball. And here's what's annoying. So he's at 95%. I'm Choice Banded, so a U-turn plus a Pyro Ball and is probably always going to kill unless he's bulky. So I misplay here. I click Pyro Ball. I miss. I deserve to miss with how things have went. He hits an Outrage, and I know that's game from here. So basically what I'm telling you is since he was not Scarfed, I choked away this win. Now, let me put choked away in some pretty big parentheses because I did not deserve to win this game. His team prep was better. I think he played a better game. I think I made a lot of good switches. I didn't have enough of an answer for Obstagoon, but I think I kind of knew that going in. We both had hacks, but at the same time, he missed 3 90% Leaf Storms, and 2 of them absolutely mattered. I don't think the one on Cinderace was a huge deal, but, I mean, still, missing 3 90% moves, that's ridiculous. So I didn't deserve to win this anyway. The only reason I was in this position is because Tangrowth missed a Leaf Storm on my Terrakion, so I didn't deserve to win. But I'm still mad because that's 2 weeks in a row where, looking at the end game, if I played it right, Cinderace won. In my last match, I forgot that Cinderace was in Blaze, and had I remembered that, he would have pulled off the win if I played the end game right, which would not have been super hard to do. And then this week, if I'd U-turned, let Rotom die, and then hit a Pyro Ball, I would have won. But we see me miss the Pyro Ball there, so I'm just going to tell myself that I would have U-turned and then still missed the Pyro Ball. Make myself feel better about misplaying at the end here. But I always feel bad saying I choked away the win because that makes it seem like I'm downplaying my opponent's win, and no. Magnus deserved the win. Alec deserved the win last week. I'm just also mad at myself for being in a situation where I could have won, whether I deserved it or not, and not having done that. But anyway, it was a really good game. Super fun to watch. Magnus was fun. He was classy as usual. So it was a really good match. And I believe at this point he won this game, and then he was kind of playing some catch-up too and went and won another game in like an hour. So I think he's like 5-1. So I can't be too mad about that. But at this point, I believe I am 2-3 with a +1 differential. So it's annoying to be 2-3 and look at how easily I could be 4-1 or at least 3-2, right? But that's just how the game goes in a league this tough. So really good game to Magnus. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here, and hope you guys have a great day. Like, comment, subscribe. Leave any constructive criticism you think I need to hear about how I'm playing or something I could have done differently. And then the next match, you're going to get to see some of the new team members. So there's something to look forward to. So anyway, I'm rambling. Have a great day, y'all. Peace.